Hey guys, welcome back to another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the NECA Predator 2 30th Anniversary Ultimate Guardian Predator. So before we get into the figure, we'll just take a look at the box. Very nice poster of the figure at the front with the flying alien queen, which could be a nod at a potential figure we could get in the future. That would be amazing. You've got other aliens as well in the background, and just a very nice colour scheme in general. I think this is inspired probably by the comic book. It could be taken from the comic book, I'm not sure. It could be done by an individual artist, it might say there on the bottom. At the side, you have the same as you have for all of the other Predator 2 figures in the series. You've got Predator 2 30th Anniversary, and then on the other side you have Ultimate Guardian Predator, and he is number 4 in the Lost Tribe, and the Lost Tribe can be seen fully displayed here at the back in the various different figures that will be coming out and have come out. We've had Borg, we've had Scout, we've had Stalker, and we've had the Battle Damaged City Hunter, and of course Guardian. So we've got still quite a few to come out. You've got some nice publicity images of the figure here with the various different accessories, and you can pause the video if you want to read this very awesome and informative bio about the character. On the top, just more Predator 2, and, then you open it. You've got this very nice promotional image of the figure. The figure would be nicely displayed here in the window with all of its various different accessories, but they're not because I've taken them out of the box. And at the back, you have this nice display of the Predator 2 spaceship with all the fog and the various different lights and things. That was such an awesome ship. I really love that scene. And this is, of course, where the entire Lost Tribe appears at the end of the film. Spoiler alert. So that's enough about the box. Let's get on to the figure himself. And here he is, the Ultimate Guardian Predator. Now, I have to say, I have had quite a few issues with this figure, but we will get onto that a bit later on. For now, we're just going to take a look at the figure in its fully working glory. So, awesome face sculpt based on, I believe, the mask that they were going to go for before the Jungle Hunter one. I think this was one of the prototypes that they did do. I know there was an original version of that. The Alpha Predator's mask is based on that original monster design, but then they went with this design and they had a choice between two masks. It was either this one or the Jungle Hunter mask, and I'm really glad that they went with that mask, because it's so classic, isn't it? Not to say that this mask isn't nice, but it's just you can't really beat that original mask. Aside from that, this is an exact copy of the Ultimate City Hunter's body in every single way. It really is just the mask that's different about it here. You do have his little gauntlet gadget that can open, which is very cool. You've got all those additional things like his little satchels, his fanny pack, and his very irritating loose cover for his groin area, which is loose, and it always gets in the way whenever I'm trying to move the figure. You do have extendable blades which can come out and pop back in. And you also do have an articulated shoulder cannon which can move down, up, side to side, and it can, I think it's supposed to slide back on this sort of rail thing here. I don't know if you guys can see, there's like a rail. You are supposed to be able to push it back, but I can never seem to do that. It just never wants to work for me. But I'm okay with that. So looking at the paint, I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. You've got all these nice details of the various different shades of skin color. You've got the spots. You've even got the netting over the top on his body and his legs. You've got the armor, which has been painted in this very kind of I don't know how to describe it. It's like really old metal, like it's gone green. It's like brown, but it's got this wash of nice green over it to just really give it a sort of, is it tarnished look? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. One thing I don't like, though, is that there's this weird fleshy colour here, and I've never understood what that is. My friend actually pointed this out when I showed it to him. Yeah, I don't really get that either. And on the back, you can see all the armor continues around. There's a little port here, but we'll get onto that shortly. And many people are wondering what this is. This is actually where a little peg would go, and you'd be able to attach your closed spear to the back. So I don't understand why it hasn't been included. I'm not sure if NECA are just being lazy or if that's just a mistake. But yeah, I just don't understand. So that's weird. So figure looks absolutely amazing. I mean, all NECA Predators look amazing. No one can really deny that. So we'll get straight into the articulation. So for the articulation on his left arm, you can do a full 360 with the shoulder, and you've just got to watch this little rubbery shoulder guard here. However, on his right arm, you can't, because this little shoulder guard here will hinder it. However, on the bicep, you can't really do a full 360 on his left arm because of this, but you can do a full 360 on his right arm. There is also a double bend at the elbow, which enables you to bring the arms right the way up. There is swivel at the wrist gauntlet, and then at the hands, you can also move forward and back as much as you wish, and then have a full rotation there. As I said, his little gadget thing is articulated, so you do want to be really careful with that, but you can open and close it. It doesn't really stay closed as much as I would like, but it does the job well enough. Then you do have a full 360 at the waist here, but I don't want to do it because these little satchels and things do get trapped down there. You also have an ab crunch joint, so you can get him to come quite the ways forward. There is also a rotation at the ab crunch, and you can go from side to side, but mine is very stiff, so I should have really used some hot water, I think, but that's ridiculous that you have to do that for an action figure, just saying. You can bring both of the legs right the way forward to quite a significant way, and right the way back, really good range of motion when it actually works. You can bring the legs right the way out to the side, not to a full 90 degrees because it's hindered by the waist pieces, but still good enough. You have a swivel at the leg, which is really nice. You have a double bend at the knee, which enables you to bring his leg reasonably far back, but it is hindered by his leg armor, so it can't come as far back as others can. Then you have a ball joint at the feet, which enables you to do side to side, forward and back, and a full rotation. So you do get quite a lot good range of motion there. So overall, oh yeah, I forgot the head. You can look from side to side. I wouldn't do a full 360 because you don't want to like snap the cannon off or anything. He can look up. He can look really far down, which is really cool. And, you know, you've got side to side and everything. You can look from side to side. It's everything you need a head to do, and it's really, really good. So for articulation, really great figure. But what really makes this figure stand out from the others is his accessories, which we will get onto right now. So starting off with accessories, we'll get into things which most of the Predators in this line come with, and that is the spears. We have, of course, the closed spear and the open one, which does come with a hand that's specially sculpted to hold it. It's very, very nice, although I do feel it's lacking in some paint compared to previous releases, which seems to be something that's happening quite a lot with this figure. Whereas the closed version does have that extra little bit of paint, which is strange. Something I will warn you guys about right now is when you're taking this out the box, just to be careful, because this thing is very brittle, and you can see that that's warped in there. The way it's put in the box is really ridiculous. You know, I don't really see how you're supposed to get it out without damaging it, but just try the best you can, and if you do get a little bit warped like this, just dunk it in some boiling water and that should do the trick. Next up, we do have the two discs. You've got one closed, which can go in the pouch, and one opened, which he does have a hand that is specially sculpted to hold. So in order to do that, you really just, I think you just line it up, put the one in the thumb, and then his other two, the one in the thumb, and then his other two fingers in there, and you get the point. There we are. So yeah, you get the point. It's just a hand that's specially sculpted to hold it, so that's really good. And like I said, for the closed one, you can just align up the shapes. You can see there's a pattern in there. Just align the shapes up and then just slot in your disc. And I have to say, this has worked much better on this figure than it has for most Predator figures that I've tried this on, so that's really good. And it slots in there no problem at all, and it really just completes the look. So, you know, he doesn't look like he just has a random empty pouch on the side of him. Really, really like that. He also does come with an open palm reaching out hand, which I have already put on him, silly me, which looks really, really nice. And he comes with a closed fist hand for the gauntlet side, which is also really nice. So you'd plug that into there. And to remove the hand, just very simple, just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle until it pops off. And then you take whatever hand you see fit and just plug it in. But what this Predator also comes with, which really I think is the main selling point, it really sets him out for all the others, is this awesome wrist cannon, which does come with exhaust effects and this enormous flame effect on the front, which you basically just plug in, like, sorry, the focus is off, because which you basically just plug in with these two different shapes here. They align with each other and it sits in really, really nicely. Same with the exhaust effects, they just go into these two little ports back here. You plug them in and Bob's your uncle. And then inside of the cannon there is also this little plug, so exactly the same as the hands, you just plug them into the gap. If it will focus for me, please focus. Into the gap in there, you align it up, and be careful with the gauntlet, like I've said. You just line it up and it does sit on there really, really nicely. Oh, you try not to get the effect pieces falling out, but and there you have it. So I will say the cannon is quite heavy, so it does weigh down my Predator's arm a little bit, but you can get him looking in this really nice blast effect all the same. If you also want to attach an additional blast effect to the shoulder cannon, it does also come included, so you kind of just line that up and sit that on. And I've dropped it, but yeah, you get the idea. And there he is with his blast effect on, finally. So yeah, you get the idea. It just kind of plugs onto the edge of the cannon, and it does look really nice. It's been given that kind of same orange and yellow paint that the big cannon has, which is really nice that they give you that option. Another thing it does come included with is the closed up version of the cannon. So the cannon kind of shrinks down into this smaller version, which can be plugged in onto this little port on the back. We just do so now. Just got to watch that you don't attach anything. And there you go. It does hold on there really tightly, which is nice. So yeah, you can have the, if you don't want to display him with the cannon on the wrist, it is nice that they do give you that option. And then he does also come with this little, I'm not sure what this is. I think this is his medical kit. This is actually on the figure when you take it out of the box, and much like this, you kind of just move the dreadlocks out the way and then attach it. Although I will say it doesn't stay on as well as this does. It's not quite so tight, and you will find it just continuously falling off every time you try and move the head, which is annoying. But yeah, it's nice that they include it anyway. And then last but, oh no, wait, we've still got a bit more. See, he does come with a lot, this guy. So you do also have, I think this is his net blaster, and in the packet it isn't attached. You get this, which is the closed version, and then you also get this open version, which is on a little tab here, which you plug into the back, like so, and then that's basically just his web blaster. But me personally, I just like to close it up, so you know, completely seamless, which is nice. And now last but ever so not least, he does come with his swappable head, which I always love when Predators come with swappable heads, because you know, it just gives you that extra bit of detail that you can choose from, and it's really up to you which one you want to go for. So to remove the head, simple enough. Just pop it off. Then you've got this nice ball peg joint under here, which is really sturdy. And now you sometimes you have to really wiggle it on. You just twist on the other head and then bring the dreadlocks out, you know, let them be spacious a bit so that they're not all cramped up. Just makes them look a little bit more natural. I'll just open them up a bit, and voila, you now have the Predator with the unmasked head on, and it always looks awesome when they include unmasked heads. It looks very, very cool. I love the eyes. It's like they're just staring right at you, and it's really, really nice. Love the paint detail and the glossiness to the mouth. It looks really, really good. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Really, really good. Okay, so my cat has come to help me with the review. Okay guys, so now that we've shown everything that was fantastic about the figure, and it truly is a great figure, but now we have to get on to the things that I am not so happy about. So, this is the figure that I picked up yesterday. This is the figure that I picked up last year. It was quite some time ago, actually. It was like early last year I picked up. Now, some of you guys might notice a difference between the boxes, and you might instantly be thinking, oh, you picked up a bootleg. Well, maybe, because I got this one from China, I got this one from Forbidden Planet. But here's the interesting thing. This one was a perfect figure, except one of his legs didn't work. Okay? This one was a perfect figure, but one of his legs also didn't work, and the paint was really sloppy. In fact, the paint is actually better on this one than it is on this one. Now, putting the two boxes side by side, you can notice quite a difference. This is much, much lighter, whereas this one's more darker. Massively prefer this box. So, I'll just bring you in the, I suppose, the fail Predator. So, if I just destroy my display there. So here it is. Here's the Predator that didn't work. If you look at the state of it here. So, yeah. Broken hand, which was my fault because I threw it at the floor in frustratement. And the two wonky legs. Now, I can get it out. Now, in terms of accessories and in terms of the figure himself, he was absolutely fine. But one of his legs didn't work. So, it deeply, deeply annoyed me. So, I wanted to get another one. Now, the leg that didn't work for this one was his right leg. And I'm really glad I've got this to show you guys, because I really want to show you just how crap these joints are. Just how badly they are. So this is the quote-unquote fake one. This one here is 100% real. He's a real Predator. I got him from an official shop in the UK, Forbidden Planet, right? His left leg didn't work. It didn't work as in the swivel doesn't work. They could kick forward and back, although this one couldn't initially. I actually had to pull the figure apart. This figure, which I just got brand new, I had to pop this leg out, pop this one out, and try and see if I could loosen them up by hand. And I just want to show you how bad this mechanism is. So that is all it is in there. It's just a simple hole through a center piece of plastic. And then what the legs do is the legs connect into each other. So they connect like this. That's what they look like. And that's why you'll notice that NECA legs tend to move together, kind of like this. And that's because they're actually connected to each other. and that's how they work. And it's terrible. It's so bad. I don't want to go into this too long, guys, because the video's already been really, really long. But essentially what I realised was, and I suppose this is a blessing really that I realised this, was this leg didn't work. There was nothing I could do. I tried fixing it, it didn't work. And then I realised that the leg on this side of this Predator did work. So this real Predator had a dodgy left leg, this fake one had a dodgy right leg. So I thought, what if I took the leg off this Predator and just swapped it with this one? So this leg here is the leg that came with this figure. I took it off, I took the leg off this one, and I popped it into there. So I now have a Predator that fully works. Now, you're probably wondering, how much did you pay for the one from China? Including postage, I think it came to just over 20 quid. How much did I pay for this one? It was on sale. It was $29.99. And it was the last one, so I thought, bugger it. And I was hoping and praying that everything would work. And you can imagine just how annoyed I was when I got it out the box and realised that it suffered with the exact same problem that the one that I already had did. And this is a real one. This is a real one. So, you know, I'm not going to say anything. I'm gonna let you guys do what you will with that. Another thing I had to do was I noticed that this Predator is painted quite differently. Like, you look at the feet, this one is much more orange, whereas this one is much more of a darker colour. So because I had put, obviously I had put this Predator's leg, which has the much lighter coloured foot on it, I popped off this foot from that leg, and I put the darker foot that was on this leg on that leg, just to kind of make it match. And yeah, what I've basically been doing is saying, well, since I have two Predators, I might as well choose the one with the best paint. And here's something that's really ironic that I want to show you guys. So this here is the alleged bootleg. Take a look at that. This is the one on the right is the real one. This one has got added paint underneath the face just to bring out the details a bit. This one hasn't got anything, it's just a solid colour. This one has really nicely painted dreadlocks. They're very neat. Whereas this one had this horrible flesh colour that had leaked all over. I've actually managed to scratch most of it off. But even on the dreadlocks on this side, you see, like, it's got all of this excess paint that's leaked onto it. And the same with the mask. There's more of a smudge. If you look, these eyes here are more shiny, whereas this one is more of a matte, because it's got all of this excess paint on it. So I thought to myself, well, since I have two Predator heads, why not take this one, bung it with all that crap, take the better painted head and pop it onto my new body. So I've got the best of both worlds. I've got a nice looking Predator head on a functioning Predator body. The same goes for the swappable head. Now here's the one that came with the quote-unquote bootleg, and here's the one that came with the quote-unquote new version. Now I want you guys to tell me, do you think something looks a bit off? The paint on this one is much lighter. There's a much more noticeable difference. But if you look really closely, and this is just what it looks like to me. This paint has been done much neater than this one. With this one, it kind of just feels like it's been slopped on, although the eyes are better. The eyes are kind of looking off to one side on this one, the eyes are looking straight. But at the same time, guys, these things are made on an assembly line, you know, so there is someone actually sat there painting these, so they're never going to be exactly the same. But honestly, again, oh, there goes my Predator. Again, I actually prefer this head. So I'm a bit torn, to be honest. I prefer the eyes on this one. I prefer the paint on this one. But that's what I mean. So I've really got the best of both worlds. And here is the cannon and the blast effect that came for the shoulder cannon. This blast effect fits this. So you guys saw how much I struggled to get that on. This one fits on, not a bother in the world. So this blast effect that came with the real one is going with that junk because it's tight, it doesn't fit. And this cannon has been slightly better painted than this one. I don't know if you guys can tell, it's more noticeable at the bottom. Just see how the paint just hasn't been applied there? You see how it has been here? So the point that I'm trying to make is I can choose between all of these additional parts, which one suits best. But the fact of the matter is, guys, like, I had to buy 2 Predators to, you know, mutilate them, just completely pull them apart, and, you know, just to create a figure that was fully working. NECA, this isn't acceptable. And yeah, I'm not going to go too much into it because I've done a whole video on this. Go check it out. It's a rant about NECA Predators. I sum up everything in that video. So I'm really lucky. I'm very lucky that I had this, you know, this, well, rubbish Predator that I didn't want to display because it irritated me so much. And I've been able to sort of make this into a fully functioning one, which is great. But should I really have had to go through this? You know, all I will say is, NECA, if your future Predator releases don't have the updated joints, they don't have, you know, the joints that you're including on your newer NECA figures like the Frankenstein, and even the ones that you've gone back and done, you know, the Pennywise figure, which I was gobsmacked. I was surprised it had the updated joints. If the Predator figures like the Shaman and the Warrior Predator and all these other ones that are coming out, if they don't have the new and improved joints, I will not be buying any more of your Predator figures because I am not going through this. I know some of you guys might be saying, well, it's a bit hypocritical that you bought this one. And it's like, yeah, well, look, guys, you know, it was on sale, okay? And I thought, if there's a chance I can get a working Guardian Predator, I'll take it. But lo and behold, it wasn't working. It was just as broken as the other one that I got from China. So I was just fortunate that this leg worked on this one and this leg worked on the other one. Otherwise, I'd have been well and truly screwed. If the same leg on both figures was faulty, well, then there's nothing I could do at all. So I suppose I was really lucky there, but I shouldn't have had to have that experience. So this is something that I'm just warning you about, guys. You know, if you are planning on picking this figure up or any of the Predator figures, that this is what you could potentially be in for. So I'm just warning you now. Obviously, when the Shaman and when the Warrior comes out, I will get them to review. But if I find that they still have these god-awful joints in them, I will not be buying any more Predator figures. Because, you know, I'd much rather go and get Ash from the Evil Dead or the other Frankenstein, the Boris Karloff mummy. Because I know those figures have the updated joints because I've seen them. And they're fantastic. I said this in my Frankenstein review, it's the best figure NECA have ever made that I own so far. You know, and I just don't see why they can put so much quality into that, but then absolutely zilch into, you know. And if these products are defective, NECA, then you should pull them from the shelves and say, give us a couple of months, we're going to reproduce them, give them the updated articulation and put them out again. Especially now that rates have gone up, these figures are getting more expensive. This was on sale at 30 quid. It was 50 quid, this figure was, initially. I'm telling you, if I'd have had this experience after paying that kind of money, I'd have gone back to Forbidden Planet and I'd have said, give me a refund or I ain't leaving this store. I'm not leaving until you give me a refund. Because this just isn't on. So, this was something that I just had to throw in at the end, but, you know, I might make this into its own video just to kind of add on to it, you know, because I don't know, this video is going to be awfully long, we'll have to wait and see. So, overall, what do I think of this Guardian Predator? It's a nice looking figure. It goes very, very well with the other Predators, and like I say, I'm just incredibly grateful to have been able to find additional parts to make this a fully functioning figure. But I have to say, due to the defects that the figure has, and the fact that, you know, despite buying this brand new at retail, it still had the issue it had, that is going to take the grade down on this figure significantly. And, you know, I shouldn't have to waste my time fixing something that should be completely fit for purpose, brand new out of the box. So although NECA are making improvements, they have still got a long way to go. And despite how impressive this figure looks, I find the articulation to be clunky, gummy, stiff, very difficult to move. And yeah, really, looks are about the only thing this guy has going, and accessories. He does come with plenty. So overall, I am going to give this figure a 6 out of 10, which I know some of you guys might think is a little bit harsh, but, you know, it is just how I feel. I truly have to say that if you guys are in-box collectors, none of these issues are going to apply to you. But if you're like me and you actually buy toys because you love them and you want to experience them and have a play with them every now and then, this figure, I can't not recommend this enough. This, sadly for me, has been one of my worst experiences with NECA as a company. And like I said, it's just ridiculous that I've had to do this. So a 6 out of 10 is my final score. If you're a fan of the Predator line and you're a fan of Predators in general, I would still recommend that you pick this up, but at your own risk, and, you know, try and pick it up for a reasonable price and don't overpay for it. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'm sorry it's gone on for so long, but I'd like to thank you all so much for tuning in to watch. And yeah, be sure to like, share, subscribe, check out my new channels and all my current rebranding that I'm doing. Thank you so much for all of you that have subscribed and have joined the Warren. I love each and every one of you. Stay safe and happy wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.